It's definitely that time of the year to put away the snow blowers and other winter needs in exchange for the fresh smell of the tools of America's pastime. It's the change of the seasons when you can put the snowboards away in the Northeast and spend beautiful days on the beaches of the Florida Gulf Coast. Once again, we arrive at the spring home of your beloved Phillies. A 6-week Grapefruit League pilgrimage leading up to opening day is upon us. Fresh new faces have filled the air, as well as those that have called this place home for more than a decade. 2016 spring training baseball has returned to scenic Clearwater, Florida. The curtain is drawn on the 70th spring training in Clearwater, Florida for the Philadelphia Phillies. Some of the legs are fresh, some are veteran legs. Others, though, are newcomers that Phillies fans are excited to see evolve into eventual fixtures in the starting lineup. A beautiful sunshiny afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida gets us started for spring training 2016 between the Blue Jays and the Phils. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs, Ben Davis. Happy to be in the sunshine, the refreshing sunshine of March 1st here in Clearwater, Florida. All right, boys, this has been a long off season for the Phillies and their fans. Excited to get things started.
It sure is. And when that last pitch of the World Series is thrown every year, a part of me dies. And then to be re-given some life and energy when you come back down here to Clearwater, it just feels good to be in the sun, hear the crack of the bat. It's just a great time of year.
Well, we're happy that you're alive. Matt, he's alive. I mean, what was your offseason like getting ready for this?
Well, it was exciting, especially with all the moves going on. You're bringing in new guys, the front office changeover. You know, for me, I think the biggest thing is I want to see what these young guys are going to do in spring training and to see what Ryan Howard and Carlos Ruiz bring to the table this year.
Both are in the starting lineup today. Now, one of the big questions for the Phils is Ruiz, is Cameron Rupp, is this catching position. All of a sudden, the Phillies have depth at the catching position.
They do, and it's such a great problem to have, especially for an organization that didn't have a lot of depth at the catching position. It's nice to see Chooch return, Cameron Rupp return, but also some of these younger guys coming up with Knapp and Alfaro. It's definitely a good problem for these Phillies to have.
All right, well, Matt had a uniform on for the first couple weeks of spring training, and you got a chance to see Jorge Alfaro and a lot of the other players. What was that like up close?
Well, you know, it was very special. First, it was an honor to be back in uniform, but what I really was impressed with was the communication from the coaching staff, the big league staff, and even the minor league staff. The communication, going through the drills, having a lot of new guys in camp, trying to get on the same page. If it's cutoff and relays, taking ground balls, how you're going to do pickoffs. What I really liked about it, though, is they really worked on fundamental. A lot of defense. They have a lot of fast runners in the outfield.
Yeah.
It's amazing to know that Herrera was your quickest outfielder last year. Now, all of a sudden, he becomes the slowest outfielder in the outfield. So it's very exciting to see the young players and the new players bond together.
All right, we will see a lot of those young players and the veteran players throughout the course of spring training, and it all begins this afternoon here in Clearwater, Florida. Pete Mackanin, obviously, is trying to present a totally different message to the ball club. What was that message that Pete addressed?
I don't feel there's a need for a huge motivational speech in spring training. Spring training is all about work. I'm going to remind the players what they're here for, what their goals should be, how they go about their business, how they prepare for the game, what I expect, what the coaches expect. And that's pretty much it. As far as motivating the players, I'm going to let them know that their motivation should be to make adjustments, because this is a game of adjustments, and in a nice way, let them know if they're used to doing things a certain way and it's not working and they don't make adjustments, they won't be here. So you have to make adjustments. You have to compete for a job. You know, this is big boy baseball.
Well, that was one of the messages that he even talked to us about yesterday in preparation for game number 1, Severino Gonzalez against Marcus Stroman. The first pitch of spring training baseball is upon us. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Citizens Bank. One deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet is nothing short of a home run. Visit your local Toyota dealer today. By Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at IBX.com.
Even ordinary moments become milestones.
Nemours opening day with free commemorative caps Monday, April 11th at 3:05 against the Padres. Order now.
We're going to say this a lot through the next month or so, but it's a great day to be out on the berm here at Bright House Field to get ready for a little baseball between the Phillies and the Toronto Blue Jays. Pete Macadam, the skipper of the Phils. Let's take a look at his starting lineup for today's game, brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Leading it off in left field is Peter Borges. And Odubel Herrera, the center fielder, bats second. Now we'll look at the Blue Jays starting lineup. That's my bad. Pompey, Siciliani, Colabello, Justin Smoke, Matt Dominguez, Darwin Barney. Ezekiel Carrera is in right field. Josh Tolley bats eighth. He's catching. And Myceres Torres bats ninth. On the mound for the Phils is right-hander Severino Gonzalez, trying to battle for that, I guess, that fifth spot, Matt, in the Phillies rotation.
Yeah, he's got to battle him, that's for sure. He's got to make sure he's down the zone. When he's going well and he gets good movement, his ball is down the zone. When his ball gets up in the zone, it gets a little flat, and that's when he gets hit hard. You know, with the scouting report on Severino Gonzalez, 3-pitch pitcher, 86-92, curveball change, and 16 starts in AAA last season.
Yeah, last year 2-7 in AAA with an ERA of 5.11. He did get a chance to start 7 games up with the big club. He's a little bigger this year physically than he was last season. And they're hoping that will dictate a little more success on his velocity. So he starts this afternoon. He's scheduled to throw 2 innings. It all depends on his pitch count. And he's ready to go against Dalton Pompey. Pompey last year had 2 home runs in a Blue Jays uniform. Combined between AA and AAA hit .307. And the first pitch of spring training is inside, and we are underway. Try to just keep everybody on their toes.
I like it. First pitch of spring training.
Why not?
The outside corner, 1 ball and 1 strike to Pompey. The Blue Jays have not brought many of their opening day starters for today's ball game. Phillies will see them today and tomorrow. They will be over in Dunedin tomorrow to take on the Jays. 1 ball and 2 strikes. It'll be Pompey, Siciliani, and Colabello for the Blue Jays. Just missed inside. That looked like the cutter, which is technically the best pitch for Severino Gonzalez. He has kind of that natural cut on his fastball. Little chopper foul.
And that's a pitch that he needs to throw to left-handers just to keep them honest. Because he will go down and away with that sinker a lot of the times, but just to prevent them from diving down over the plate.
Yeah, I think last year, I don't know if you guys agree with this or not, command was a big issue for him. He had too much of the middle of the plate in a lot of his outings in the Phil's uniform. Fouled away again.
Well, and that's the pitch right there we talk about it with his command. I know it's early in spring training, but that's supposed to be a fastball inside, and it's up and away. You can see Chooch is giving the signs early to get that ball inside for a strike or for a setup pitch for the next pitch to follow. Get it in there. The whole spring training, they worked on throwing inside to lefties and righties.
Outside, ball 3. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You can follow along with the pitch count in the top left-hand corner. We mentioned that he's scheduled to throw 30 pitches today, and again, that's hopefully 2 innings, but it'll depend on how long it takes him to get through the first few batters. Umpires for today's ballgame, that's Phil Cuzzy, who's behind home plate. Tom Hallion's over at first base. Eric Cooper's at second, and Marty Foster right now is at third. Now, if you want to know who Tom Hallion is, the first base umpire, you can just mark down he's the only one that's not wearing the light blue jersey for this afternoon's ballgame. Outside, ball 4. And the first base runner of the day is Dalton Pompey, who you have to keep an eye on. He did steal 23 bags a season ago down in the minor leagues. Bob McClure, Pete Buchanan. Larry Boa, of course, next to Pete.
Took Dave Holland's photobombing the camera.
Dave always does like to get the attention, doesn't he? Here's Siciliani, and he takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Man that big can do whatever he wants.
He will be with the club for the rest of this week before he heads to the, what did he say? To the bleachers.
The bleachers.
Quick toss over to first. Siciliani was picked up by the Blue Jays from the New York Mets organization. Last year in AAA, hit .345 for the Mets. In the big leagues, he hit .206. Yeah, that one sweeps inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Over to the right side, Ryan Howard will have 1 play. He did get the lead runner. I thought he was going to go right to first base, but Ryan decides to be aggressive and go right after the base runner going to second.
That's a play that we've seen Ryan Howard struggle with over the years, but I have no problem with this in spring training. He's aggressive. He comes in, creates a throwing lane. And if you don't get him, it's still good to work on that play because it is spring training. That's what we're here for. Makes a good firm throw to Freddie there at shortstop.
And honestly, if it was a better slide straight into the bag,
I agree.
He probably would have beat it.
Yeah, Pompey's foot was flying up in the air as he was going into the second base bag. Here's Colabello. He had a great year last year for the Blue Jays. Tries to hold up, cannot. And it's 0-1.
Getting back to that throw by Ryan Howard at first base, every day these guys worked on that thing, and that in spring training, coming in, getting ground balls, being aggressive, throwing to the bases.
It's always good to get that lead runner.
Swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Gonzalez last year made his major league debut on April 28th. He lasted 2 2/3 against the St. Louis Cardinals. We mentioned he pitched in 7 games in the big leagues. His longest outing was 5 2/3 on the 9th of July against the LA Angels of Anaheim. 0-2 pitch outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Well, at this point in spring training, they have a lot of different pitchers in the bullpen. And I don't know if Severino's going to get his 2 innings in today. He may pitch 1 inning and that's it.
Early on in spring training, you will see a lot of pitchers miss up in the zone because it's that adrenaline. It's hard to work down. These guys are pumped up just like the hitters are. So it's very difficult for them to work down. I remember catching these guys early on. They just had a tough time working down in the zone.
It's fouled over the first base dugout. Now, as a catcher, Carlos has not said too much to Severino right now. You're just letting him throw, right?
Pretty much that's all you have to do. First outing of the year. Let him get into his rhythm.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Colabello. Blue Jays picked him up last year on a waiver claim for the Minnesota Twins, and he was able to shock everybody with a .321 average, 15 home runs, and 54 RBIs. Scouting is so important in this game that sometimes a little luck is important, and he worked his tail off. And he was a huge boost, not only off the bench, but just as an extra player overall.
Well, and defensively, he played unbelievable as well. He played some unbelievable first base leading up to the playoffs.
Runner goes, pitches nubbed up the third base line. That'll be a tough play for Franco. And it'll be Gonzalez who will backhand it. So that'll be an infield hit. So runners on first and second. Well, speaking of last year the Blue Jays won the American League East with 93 wins, 6 games ahead of the Yankees. And they were among the leaders in just about every offensive category. John Gibbons in his second go-around as the Blue Jays manager. His message this year has been focus. After winning the division a season ago, is just focus on, what you can control. Here's Justin Smoke. Takes inside and low. 1 ball, no strikes.
They definitely have some firepower. They can put up some numbers. And they really feed off each other as a lineup. It's almost like a competitive nature. We as athletes, they see the guy in front of you do well, you want to match him or do better.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did, says the home plate umpire Phil Cuzzy. 1 ball, 1 strike.
It's a cutter right there. You think it's going to be out over the plate. Ties you up inside.
I want to say a little bit.
It's like my golf swing yesterday.
Looks like everybody's got a swing yesterday. Altair got turned around, but is able to handle that line drive. Going to third base is Siciliani. That'll put runners on first and third with 2 men down. Ball's going out there like a wiffle ball.
That had some topspin on it.
Aaron Altair getting a chance to play right field here today. Odubel Herrera playing center field. And Peter Borges around at left. Take a look at it. This could be your opening day outfield, depending on how spring rolls around. Pete has said that Odubel is going to remain in center field. He said, I don't want to change that too much. And Altair kind of gave us a glimpse a season ago of what he can do as an outfielder.
You really have 3 center fielders out there right now, is what you have.
Matt Dominguez takes off the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. I think what it means is that defensively, it's going to be as good an outfield as the Phillies have had in a few years.
Right, and you have 3, like Ben said, you have 3 center fielders playing in the outfield. It can be good and it can be bad at times. Communication. That's one thing they've worked on a lot the last few days is communication in the outfield. Knowing that Odubel Herrera in center field doesn't have to cover that much ground to left center, right center anymore. He is the 3rd slowest outfielder out there now. Is that Borges kid? Can fly.
Oh, he can fly. You're right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That breaking ball just didn't break enough, so it'll load up the bases as Dominguez is hit by a pitch. And that'll bring Darwin Barney to the plate.
Breaking ball that just really backs up on Severino. Slipped out of his hand.
So Carlos goes out to chat with him. Freddie Galvis stays out there as well. And with the bases loaded, Darwin Barney will be the batter. Former everyday second baseman for the Chicago Cubs, who I think all of us thought would be the everyday second baseman for the Cubs for a long time. is now on his third organization, starting at shortstop today. And a foul ball. It's 0-1. Barney won a Gold Glove at second base with the Cubs in 2012. Set a record for most consecutive games played without committing an error.
That's tough to do on that field, too. I know they've made some changes to it at Wrigley, but.
Out toward right center field, and that's going to split the gap and going to roll toward the track. Backhanded by Altair. 2 runs will score. It'll be a 2-run double for Darwin Barney, and the Blue Jays have jumped out to a 2-0 lead. Well, he didn't do too much with it. It was out over the plate, and he just went the other way.
Just a little slider that didn't slide a whole lot. He's kind of spun out over the middle of the plate. Does a nice job staying on the ball and driving it to right center. And we talked about the outfielders right here. That's where you might have the collisions at time, where the lack of communication.
Would you agree, though, that Altair was the right guy to take the ball in that spot? I mean, not only because of the strength of his arm, but also because of the angle.
I would agree.
Ezekiel Carrera is the batter, and he fouls it off. Former Philly, albeit for 13 games back in 2013. Last year in the big leagues, he had 273 with 3 homers and 26 runs batted in. He's got runners on second and third. And already bullpen action for the Phillies. Gregory Infante is warming up in the pen. Hole number 65.
A lot of those numbers in camp this year.
And a lot of numbers that are higher.
Just missed. 1 and 2.
Remember my first big league camp, I was number 64. The next year I was number 70. How's it going
the wrong way?
I know. This isn't going well for me.
So you had a really good first camp, huh?
Ground ball to shortstop. Charging is Freddie Galvis. And the inning is over. However, the Blue Jays score 2 runs. They leave a couple. They get a couple base hits. And they take a 2-0 lead into the bottom of the first. Starting lineup for today's game brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. It's Borges, Herrera, Franco, Ryan Howard, Aaron Altair, and J.P. Arancibia, the former Blue Jay, will be the DH today. Cesar Hernandez at second base. He'll bat 7th. Carlos Ruiz 8th. And Freddie Galvis will bat 9th. They will face right-hander Marcus Stroman, who is as electric as you will find on the mound. He tore his ACL last spring, just taking routine ground balls on the mound. And he was out until September. But look what he did in September. 4 games, 4-0 with a 1.67 ERA. And Guy's 18 strikeouts and 27 innings of work. He is a strikeout pitcher.
For not being very tall of stature, very energetic kid. Only 5'10", but his name, the Toronto Blue Jays opening day starter. He's got an electric arm, but very good stuff in the fact that he can locate all his pitches. First round pick in 2012, but he does have a very powerful arm.
Yeah, he pitched in 3 games in the postseason for the Blue Jays, 2 in the divisional round, and then 1 in the American League Championship Series. Facing Peter Borges to start things off. And Borges takes a strike at the knees. It's 0-1. Borges over from the St. Louis Cardinals organization, where he had 200 last year with 4 homers and 13 runs batted in. Phillies are hoping that he can somehow come close to the 2011 season when he hit 271, had 26 doubles, had 11 triples, and 12 home runs. And he is the first strikeout victim of the day. 3 pitches, 1 set aside here in the bottom of the first.
Location 0-2. That's where you want it to be. You try to get that 0-2 pitch to drop on the back corner of the plate. Get the hitters fishing.
Man had some movement on that breaking ball, huh?
This isn't the guy you want to face in your first spring training game. You want to get up there and have a comfortable at bat, and then you got this guy out there just.
This is where you want to face R.A. Dickey or Wakefield, Charlie Huff.
That'll be tomorrow, Matt.
Not your ace.
Odubel Herrera, 147 games a season ago, hit 297 with 8 home runs, 41 runs batted in.
Had a little different delivery right there. It was a quick pitch.
Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. There's a lot of talk during the offseason about where Odubel would play this year, you know, with Borges here and even Roman Quinn's in camp. He is an infielder by trade. Phillies picked him in the Rule 5 draft prior to last season. And they moved him to center field, and Pete Buchanan said, I don't want to mess with his confidence. I'm just going to leave him in center field at least to start the year. Inside, 3-2. So Odubel's credit, when he was asked about the outfield position, he said it doesn't matter. I'll play left field. I'll play right field.
He just wants to hit.
He does.
And he said, I just want to win. There's a foul ball to stay alive. It remains 3-2.
Got rid of the locks.
Got rid of the locks right before we arrived. Is that what inspired you to get rid of your mullet, Ben?
That my wife barking at me every day. We were at the Flyers game Thursday night, and my wife said, well, you fit in your hockey hair. So I made my way to the barbershop.
Justin Smoke takes care of Herrera. 2 outs. And that'll bring Michael Franco to the plate. Franco. Michael last year said, I want to be Franco. This year he says, I want to be Franco. So we're going to go with Franco. A solid year last year before he left with the broken bone in his wrist. Takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Fractured the bone of his wrist on the 11th of August. Good news is, even though he didn't play the rest of last season, he did play a little bit in winter ball. Played in 21 games. Hit 234 with 3 home runs during that time. Three balls, no strikes. As Stroman falls behind.
2-0 breaking ball.
Respect.
He gets the green light and he lofts it to shallow right center field, and the side is retired. Quick inning for Marcus Stroman, 13 pitches. Phillies go down 1-2-3 as we go to the second. Nemours opening day. The Phillies will commemorate opening day with an opening day cap free to all fans on Monday, April 11th at 3:05 against the San Diego Padres. All part of the opening series. Tickets can be purchased for that opener and for the rest of that series by going to Phillies.com. On to the second, and Severino Gonzalez remains out on the mound facing Josh Tolley. First pitch is over for a strike. It's 0-1. Tolley spent a little bit of time in the big leagues last year at 204. At AAA, he had 228 with no homers and 17 runs batted in. Outside.
It will be interesting to see if he's going to be R.A. Dickey's personal catcher this year. Although Russell Martin will be catching R.A. Dickey tomorrow.
That one has hit a mile high. Shallow center field. Odubel Herrera is coming in. He's under it. And he makes the catch. One away. Misery's Torres is coming up, so it means it's an appropriate time to welcome back Greg Murphy.
Well, thank you very much, Tom. It certainly is good to be back. And, you know, they say it is Super Tuesday today, and there's only one reason for that, and that is because baseball is back, the Phils are back, and we are ready to play some baseball. First game of 181 that we'll be televising this year. And someone else who is very happy to be back, guys, obviously Pete Mackanin, back for his first full season as the manager of the Phillies, and he'll have some new faces with him as well. One of the guys that fans will recognize right away is Mickey Morandini. He is the new first base coach. He will be part of the staff this year for the very first time for Pete Mackanin. Also a new face, Rick Kranitz, the bullpen coach, comes over from Milwaukee. He was the pitching coach over there a year ago. And then John McLaren, also here, the new catching coach, 23 years of coaching experience for McLaren. He joins Pete Mackanin's staff as well. So the rest of the guys, Larry Boa, Juan Samuel, Steve Henderson, Bob McClure, all back from a year ago. A couple of new faces, a couple of old, all ready to go this season, guys.
Yeah, it was nice to see everybody. It was nice to see Mickey in uniform wearing Matt's number 12. Or I guess it was Mickey's number 12 first. Off the outside corner. Ben's old catching coach and bench coach, John McLaren, right, in Seattle?
Yes. Mac and I were exchanging a few good stories of Lou Piniella from our days in Seattle.
All right, son. That one's down the left field line. Peter Borges comes in to make the catch. And 2 away. Rick Kranitz, who is to your left in the bullpen, walking away. Very good telestration, Matt.
Thanks.
Veteran to help out Bob McClure.
And who basically ran spring training. He put all the time schedule, what field you're going to. He was a field coordinator, did a very nice job.
Here's Dalton Pompey up for the second time, and it's no balls and 1 strike to Pompey. He walked his first time up. Foul, and no balls and 2 strikes.
You know, being in uniform for, I think, about 8 days, I mean, it was great being around the cage, watching guys hit, watching all the fielding practice, the hitting practice. But I think the funnest part was being in the coach's room and listening to Larry Boa tell stories. Tremendous stories.
Some you can share, some you probably can't share.
True.
That was a tremendous 0-2 pitch by Severino Gonzalez. That's how you get someone off the plate.
On the outside corner, strike 3 call. So a nice bounce back inning for Severino Gonzalez after giving up the 2 runs in the first. He works a 1-2-3 second inning, getting Dalton Pompey looking on strikes to wrap up the top of the second. the flight from Philadelphia, you know you go through the same sort of area at Tampa International Airport. But the other day, it was a little different greeting. The Fanatic and Finley, the Clearwater Threshers mascot, was there to greet the Philly fans who had come down to enjoy the first week of games here at Bright House Fields. That was the Eastern College lacrosse team, who was also coming down to play some games. We'll see a lot of colleges down here, not only lacrosse, but of course baseball and even some other sports getting a chance to enjoy the warm weather. Here's Ryan Howard. Howard hit .229 last season. 23 home runs, 77 runs batted in. .02 pitch to Ryan. Off the hands, back toward the middle. And waiting on it is Torres. So one away. And that'll bring Aaron Altair to the plate. Right field. It'll be Ryan Howard's last spring here in Clearwater. Pete McKenna was asked an awful lot about Ryan and his role coming into this season. They've had a pretty open communication, line of communication so far. And he's hit a lot of home runs in a Phillies uniform. Swing and a miss. 0-2 to Altair.
A lot of home runs.
Mm-hmm. Altair last year, you saw his numbers in Double-A. 14 home runs combined between Double-A and Triple-A before hitting 5 in a Phillies uniform for the big club. Over to left side, slipping is Dominguez, but he gets back to his feet. And there are 2 outs.
I think he was in quicksand down there.
Designated hitter number 19, J.P. Aaron Cedeno.
There's a lot of sinking mud, though, in the Clearwater area.
They do such a good job with this field today, but early this morning, the boys were out running the bases, doing some first to third, so maybe that was a little bit more chewed up than normal.
Here is J.P. Aaron Cedeno. Made his major league debut with the Toronto Blue Jays, now 30 years old. Last year in a part-time role with Tampa, had 6 home runs, 17 runs batted in. That one rolls foul. This man has some pop. At least he did when he was first coming up to the big leagues. Hit 23 home runs for Toronto back in 2011.
And most of those come in first half. He really struggled the second half.
You know those catchers are, Matt. They get a little tired in the second half of the season.
He did play every day.
Those are his career numbers, 80 home runs, just a .212 batting average. And that one is lined into right center field, a base hit. So the first hit of the day for the Phils. A 2-out single here in the second.
Very nice approach, staying on top of that slider, driving it to right field. It's one thing that JP's been working on in spring training is trying to stay on the ball a little longer. You can see it's a slider away, front side stays closed, use your hands, throw the barrel. Very nice swing.
And now Cesar Hernandez. And Cesar takes strike one. Cesar was the everyday second baseman for the Phillies last year. He and Freddie Galvis were the double play combination. Played 75 games at second base once Chase Utley left. Off the hands, Swibber up the third base line. Stroman is a heck of an athlete, and that one gets by Smoke and goes into foul territory. Over to third base goes Aaron Sebia. And it'll wind up being a base hit and an E5 to allow the runner to go to third.
Take that, ball.
Well, it helped the Blue Jays. In the inning, they scored 2 runs.
Might want to eat that next time.
Yeah.
Now, if it's a Ryan Howard or a Ben Davis or a Matt Stairs running, a little different.
Could have turned 2.
Carlos Ruiz will be the batter with runners on first and third. And Carlos takes way outside. Carlos at one point this spring will leave the Phils and go represent his native Panama in the World Baseball Classic. And it will take place, at least his pod will take place in Panama as Hernandez is able to swipe second base to put runners on second and third.
That's one thing you got to see with the 2016 Phillies is a very aggressive base running and trying to steal second or third. Had a very nice jump, not even close to second base on a very good throw.
Very good throw.
The dirt totally blocks it, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike.
The big question is this year is how are the Phillies going to score runs? Not a lot of power in the lineup. Not saying that they don't have a lot of power. But they're going to have to run the bases very well. They're going to have to be very aggressive on the base paths, but very smart base running on the base paths.
There's a line drive, base hit it to center field. That'll score 2. And the Phils will tie this ball game up at 2 apiece here in the home seconds. Well, Matt, you've been talking in the office about Carlos Ruiz's swing so far in these first few days of spring training. You like the way he looks at the plate right now.
I do, and he's been asking a lot of questions. He's got a little bit of movement back into his body again. You see the little rock, he's getting back on that back leg, which is allowing for his hands to get back in a good position, and he's driving the ball. He's not taking that big wild swing anymore.
Freddie Galvis chops the first pitch out towards second base. So the putout goes 4-3. Side is retired, but Carlos Ruiz strikes first this spring and ties the ball game up at 2 with a 2-run single here at the bottom of the 7th.
All right.
Young, you know, I believe I was maybe 22, 21 or 22. It was like a whirlwind. It was like driving in a car on a racetrack at 200 miles an hour with the roof down, convertible, going around that first turn and trying to fit your car in between 2 cars at 200, trying to go around that first turn. It was going fast.
Okay, question is, how does he know how fast 200 up? I mean,
well, have you seen the man on a motorcycle?
there you go.
Bob McClure in his second year as the Phillies pitching coach, talking about his first ever spring training.
I guess it went fast.
It does sound like it went pretty quick. Well, here is Gregory Infante, who will be the new pitcher for the Phillies. Infante, you see his minor league numbers for his career. 3.58 ERA. Bob is funny. Phillies signed Infante to a minor league contract this past offseason. Spent the last couple of years in the Toronto Blue Jays organization, 2014. Siciliani, Pete Buchanan's asked where he was last year. Siciliani was with the Mets a season ago. He leads things off for Toronto. He reached out a fielder's choice his first time up and scored a run.
It's a lot of vowels.
That one's a bit high.
Infante has a very good arm. Can top out at 95, 96. One thing he needs to work on is his changeup and his little slider he throws.
To the right side, to his left is Cesar Hernandez. And quick out here in the top of the third. And here's Chris Calabello. Yeah, the scouting report on Infante is that his 12-6 curveball is his best pitch, that's his out pitch. For some guys, I guess we've already seen Stroman throw a lot of breaking pitches here today. Sometimes you don't see a lot of breaking pitches the first few outings.
No, well, a lot of times, and Ben, you probably know more than anyone because you've caught so many guys, they're working on location with that fastball and trying to get out in front on the sliders.
Well, the best pitch in baseball is a located fastball. And if you can do that, then the other pitches will come. And I agree, early in spring, you just want to locate that fastball and get back to where you need to be.
Well, that's a good movement on it right there. It's 1 ball, 1 strike.
I thought he was right on it, Tom.
Right on it.
That is late.
Yep.
And hard.
Calabello singled and scored his first time up, infield single. That one's over to third, scooped up by Maikel Franco. And there are 2 outs. Tonight, Michael Barkat is joined by Dick Girardi to talk about today's 4 p.m. franchise tag deadline. Watch Phillies Sports Talk, presented by Comcast Business. Tonight at 5, right here on Comcast Sports Network. Smoke flied out to right field. Actually lined out to right field. A knuckler.
Lobbed out to right field.
Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes.
Pitch at 92 miles an hour, going straight down.
Well, there are spots to be won in the bullpen. Talking about the starting staff, not that anything is definitively set, but there seems to be more opportunities in the pen than there are with the starting rotation. 1 ball, 2 strikes. That one just missed 2 and 2.
Especially with the bullpen where you have new veterans added who are not on the 40-man roster, but there's also a lot of spots in the bullpen where a lot of pitchers have options left.
Yeah, that's one of the veterans you just saw who Matt's talking about, David Hernandez, who would like to be the team's closer. Andrew Bailey South Jersey product, would like to be the team's closer.
David, a former teammate of mine in the Orioles organization.
That one's low, ball 4. So Smoke works out a walk with 2 outs there in the top of the 3rd.
If anyone has that closer's mentality, it's David Hernandez. This guy is just, honestly, he's a short memory, and he'll give you everything he's got and doesn't care. And I mean that in a good way, in the fact that nothing really bothers him.
Well, he is scheduled to pitch today, so we should get a chance to see him for the first time. Dominguez hit by a pitch his first time up. And he hits that one out toward left center field. It's not deep. Here comes Herrera. And they'll play it on 1 hop. The Blue Jays have 2 on with 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Shortstop, Darwin Barney.
Darwin Barney has 2 RBIs today for the Blue Jays. Will bat here for the 2nd time. You wondered about the Jays and their opening day lineup. You're not seeing much of it here this afternoon.
As I said, they're not here.
John Gibbons left him a few miles away in Dunedin. The thought is that Bautista probably won't play for maybe a week, although that could change. Tulowitzki is scheduled to play on Friday for the first time. Edwin Encarnacion had a bad tooth. He had an abscess in his tooth, so he left camp yesterday, so he might play tomorrow. If you head over to Dunedin tomorrow, you'll probably get a chance to see some of the other regulars for Toronto. A 1 to Barney is hit high in the air to deep left center field. Borges going back toward the wall, and it is off the base of the wall. Herrera plays it nicely as a backup. The throw to the plate by Galvis skids off the bottom of the mounds, and it'll be a 2-run double for Darwin Barney, and the Blue Jays retake the lead.
See what the 2-out walk does? It always seems to come back and bite you in the butt. Conte going through this inning, not a problem at all. Barney smokes this ball to left field. The one good thing about this play is Borges goes back, is not able to get it, but Odubel's right there to back him up. Hits Freddie, the cutoff man. Freddie makes a good relay to home. Not in time, but that's what you want to see. Them hitting the cutoff man, not airmailing it somewhere. There's the fundamentals. You can keep a guy second base or prevent him from advancing another base, or even get the guy at home plate.
Yeah, Matt, you talked in the open about fundamentals. You talked about it early in the game. They were working on that even today before batting practice. They were working on backing up outfielders, but also where to throw the ball in certain spots. Ezequiel Carrera grounded out to shortstop his first time up. And it's 1 ball and 1 strike to him.
Well, and I think with a lot of the drills that they've been doing this spring training is making you think ahead. If you have a runner on first base and the ball's to my right, if I can't get to where am I throwing it? And that's the biggest thing is trying to get these guys to look a couple plays. Like it's a manager. They kind of look a couple innings ahead. Well, you want to see a couple pitches ahead of what happens if the ball's hit here.
On the outside corner, 1 and 2.
And I was very impressed with the effort level. Not only of the players running the bases, they were running 100%, each and every one of them. And the defensive players, the outfielders, getting the ball, making good, firm, crisp throws, either to a base or to a cutoff guy. They weren't just going through the motions.
Not very often do you see on your first spring training game, in the morning you're practicing going first to third or whatever you're doing, and you're going in hard and sliding. I mean, very often you see that. There's been a lot of different things in spring training that so far leading up to the games that they have done extremely well with.
Way inside, 2 balls and 2 strikes.
You know, I've never seen a team mandatory to take playing pepper. The position players and the pitchers are out there playing that little pepper game,
yeah.
A little toss, and they play it every day.
On the outside corner, and a strike 3 called, and that'll wrap up the top of the 3rd inning for the Blue Jays. They do score 2 runs. They leave 1. When we return, Pete Buchanan is going to tell us just about improving on some small things each and every day.
Input as the manager does. There's a lot of things that you want to incorporate into the program that perhaps you didn't see with the Sandberg or with Charlie or with Lloyd McClendon when I was with him, or Felipe Alou. You have your own ideas and thoughts about what should be included and how you go about going through those fundamentals, for example. All winter I was trying to figure out what 3 or 4 items we can zero in on in order to improve on 3 or 4. Instead of going from A to Z, we're going to go from A to B, or A to C.
Well, he certainly has his ideas. He was asked a lot during this past offseason how he was going to run his first spring training as a manager. You know, he was an interim manager on 2 different occasions before becoming the manager last year for the Phillies. And he's helped run spring trainings as bench coach and as a third base coach, but he's never had the reins as a skipper. Blue Jays have made an adjustment to their outfield. They've moved Carrera to center field from right field, and they've moved Siciliani from center field over to right. And the new pitcher is right-hander Drew Hutchinson. Hutchinson last year won 13 games for the Blue Jays. An ERA of 5.57. That is an American League ERA right there, boys.
And I think out of those 13 wins, 14 came at home.
Well,
he could not pitch well.
They even skipped him on the road a couple times.
Yeah.
Well, I guess when your teammates average almost 6 runs per game, you can get away with a 5.57 ERA. His 13 wins led the Blue Jays. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Borges, who struck out his first time up. Borges saw 3 pitches his first time up. Over to second base. And step to his left is Torres. 1 away. Well, it's almost that time already. The Philly Fanatic birthday, brought to you by Citizens Bank. The Fanatic Flare Hair Visor, free to kids 14 and under. It is Sunday, April 17th, all part of the Washington Nationals weekend. What are your tickets now? By going to Phillies.com.
Tom.
Yes, Ben.
Does that look appetizing to you?
Boy, it would be great to have a thick head of hair like that. Particularly down here in the sun, right, Matt? Here's Herrera, and he swings over the top of that first pitch. It's 0-1. Grounded out to first base, his first time up. I think folks last year wondered how good of a defensive center fielder Odubel would be. Well, if you look at the numbers, he made 5 errors, had 5 assists. He had the 7th most plays in all of baseball for center fielders. 7 among the 30 or so center fielders that played every day. He had the 7th most plays that he had to take care of. He was 8th in putouts. So if there was a wonder about how he would adapt to center field, I thought he adapted quite well to center field defensively.
He was first in steps taken.
First in steps taken.
To get to balls.
Yeah. They have those stats now.
First in steps taken.
Yeah, yes. He covered the most ground.
So that's either good or bad.
It means he's fast.
Or he's out of position.
You know, we asked Juan Samuel about that. Here's Maikel Franco. Franco takes to the knees, 0-1.
Which more than likely he was not out of position because they have those unbelievable scouting reports down there.
Well, what Sammy said, he said, well, for the most part, I kept him straight away. Yeah. That's basically what he did. Juan Samuel handles the outfielders. 1 ball, 1 strike to Franco. And that one whips outside, 2-1. Swing and a miss, but it's 2-2.
I don't think he was trying to shoot that one to right.
No, he was trying to hit it over the tiki bar, which he's done quite often already this spring. Out of play.
That was a hanger there. Sometimes as hitters, you get that hanger, you see it so good, you end up overswinging. And when you overswing, your bat slows down, you foul it off, and you shake your head for a couple innings.
Now one is dragged over to shortstop, and Darwin Barney will take care of Maikel Franco. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We'll head to the 4th here in Clearwater. Fourth inning here at Bright House Fields. Before the ball game today, there was a little bit of a levity during batting practice. Freddie Galvis's car was in the wrong spot when Maikel Franco was up at the plate. For more on that, here's Greg Murphy.
Well, Tom, the time we spend down here in Clearwater for about 6 weeks during spring training, generally a very positive and happy time. Everybody in a very good mood, but Well, sometimes things don't always go everybody's way. And Exhibit 1 is Freddie Galvis's windshield. He was parked out behind the left field wall, and, well, that is courtesy of his teammate Maikel Franco, who hit a bomb this morning in batting practice. It went over Frenchie's Tiki Bar, out of the ballpark, and, well, right here it landed. I am told that not a great morning for Freddie Galvis. He's already been on the phone with his insurance company.
Here's Josh Tolle against David Hernandez, and he takes low. It's 1-0. Freddie did take a photo out near the car, pointing toward it. I'm sure that he'll recoup some of, well, I don't know if he'll recoup some of the responsibility from Maikel Franco or not.
You know, Tom, you said levity. I'm not sure that he was. It was all that light of a moment for Freddie Galvis.
He was smiling though a little bit. See, look, he's smiling. We're showing the photo.
I was out there with our producer Jeff Halleckman.
And you were smiling.
Well, I was smiling, and Jeff was smiling, and our cameraman Eddie was smiling, and Freddie was talking to the insurance company. He was not smiling. Andres Blanco was with him. I think he was smiling a bit. But,
yeah.
You know, it's park at your own risk over the Frenchie's Tiki Bar.
That is exactly right.
Our partner Matt Stairs likes to park his truck there sometimes.
No, now Murph. I'm in deep center field. In order to hit my car, take about a 600-foot shot.
Well, you've done that in your career.
No.
We'll see. I wouldn't park it there if I were you.
Yeah, your new pickup. You do not want to put
your new pickup. If someone hits my car where I park,
yeah, you'll give them the car. You'll give them the car.
They can have the car.
Do we have to start at home plate? Because if I started on the berm, I might be able to do it.
Yeah. Out toward left field, Borges has a beat on it and puts it away. Josh Tolle's retired. David Hernandez was the one free agent, major league free agent, the Phillies signed this past offseason. And last year, 1-5, an ERA of 4.28, pitched out of the Diamondbacks organization, did not close for Arizona.
Hey, created a monster.
When he was Ben's teammate with the Baltimore Orioles, he would average more than a strikeout per inning pitched. In fact, back in 2012, 98 strikeouts in 68 1/3 innings of work. Swing and a miss. 0-2.
We threw a bit harder back then, but still, this guy will go right after you. He will challenge it, not afraid of anything.
Pretty good movement on that pitch. He stores flight out to left his first time up, and that looked like a pretty good pitch right there.
I asked David, I said, yeah, we had that game in Arizona where you got a line drive up the box and it clipped your foot and you ended up having to come out of the game. He goes, you remember that? I said, yeah. He goes, yeah, that didn't feel good.
Not as bad as your torn toenail, though, right?
No, not as my punctured big toe.
Cost us the golf tournament yesterday.
Yeah, that it did. And a sock.
Yeah. Not worried about the sock. I wanted a bag. Over to first base, Ryan Howard comes charging, and he'll take it himself. Phillies baseball is brought to you by W.B. Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. Hello, Ben Davis, Matt Stairs, and Greg Murphy. I'm Tom McCarthy. That's beautiful Clearwater Beach, which Ben will be running on later on tonight.
Pulling a calf.
Pulling a calf. Matt and I will be sitting on a balcony looking at the beach later on tonight. Here's Dalton Pompey. The first pitch is low to Pompey. He is 0 for 1. Walked his first time up. Struck out his last time. Ryan Howard takes the big hop, and an easy inning for David Hernandez and the Phils. 1-2-3 go the Blue Jays. We've completed 3.5 onto the bottom of the fourth. 2-run Blue Jays lead.
Even ordinary
Baseball is brought to you by Xfinity. Xfinity X1 will change the way you experience TV. Oh, a nice way to start our spring schedule this afternoon from Bright House Field, where the Blue Jays and the Phillies head to the bottom of the 4th inning. Toronto up by 2. It's basically been the Darwin Barney show for the Blue Jays. He has all 4 RBIs. Ryan Howard grounded out to second base his first time up. So taking the swings for the second time. Facing Drew Hutchinson for the first time. Hutchinson took over in the 3rd for Marcus Stroman. Fastball to the outside corner. Ryan has looked very comfortable these first few days of spring training, not only in the cage but also over at first base. See what happens as far as his role goes, whether he's going to platoon with Darren Ruff or if one will win the job over the other. 1 ball and 2 strikes. I think it all depends on, A, how Ryan does against lefties and how Darren does against righties. I think, for both of those guys, it's how they do against the same side of the plate.
I think it's more so how Ryan does against lefties.
One's poked out toward left. Pompey is under it. Really makes the catch. So 1 out here in the 4th inning. Let's check in with Greg Murphy, who's with Andy McPhail.
I am indeed, Tom, and the team president, Andy McPhail, joining us. And, it's all underway now. And I guess first question for you is, what's the excitement level for you as this gets underway, as 2016 starts?
Well, we're very excited to kind of see what we have. We have a lot of young players. We're excited about their futures, and we'll get a chance over the next month to sort of see them in action.
You've been down here for a couple of weeks. You've been out of practice. We're watching Pete McCannon and his staff as they get these guys ready for game number 1 and beyond. What have you seen from your skipper?
I think what you look for is just the energy level overall, and I think we're all very satisfied, very pleased with that. Players seem to be enjoying it. There is a lot of energy in camp, and really just staying healthy and getting repetitions in and showing a little effort and energy is all you can ask for at this early stage.
I think it's fair to say that one word that has been used often in this offseason has been change. There has been a lot of change, certainly since this time a year ago, and probably more changes to come throughout the organization. Do you like what you've seen so far in the changes?
Yeah, we talked to the players on the first full reporting date, and I pointed out to them that 48 of them, almost 3/4 of them, weren't in this camp a year ago. And even more amazing than that to me is 36 of them at this time, that's more than half, were wearing a different uniform for another organization. So we do feature change, not just at the management level, but there's a lot of change in that clubhouse as well.
So what's the biggest challenge, I guess, for you and your staff, and for Pete and his staff, with all of those changes?
Well, you just don't try to read too much in it too soon. It's early. They're just getting their repetitions. Let's keep them healthy. Let's try not to read too much into it. I've always said that the GM really should go fishing the first 2 weeks of spring training. Start to make your evaluations after that.
It is Aaron Sevilla getting a hold of that one. That one's over the wall, so a home run for Aaron Sevilla. So he's got 2 hits today, a couple of RBIs as well. That, I guess, is good to see. One of the new faces doing some things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. The games are nice, but you're kind of looking at individual performances and trying to get a read. But as I said, first day out, so let's just let them play for a few weeks before we get too deep into the analysis of it.
It's game 1 here at Bright House Field, and you look around, and certainly lots of Phillies fans out here enjoying what is, perfect weather, which Clearwater always seems to deliver. But nice for you to see the folks back out here and enjoying some baseball as well.
Yeah, it's kind of fun. Being the president, one of the things I like to do is walk around the park. There are a lot of Blue Jay fans here today too, which is equally as good. I'm happy to see that. But for the first day of spring training, just turn the calendar to March. This is, I think, a very good, terrific crowd.
Final question. Is there a message to the fans of Philadelphia who are watching today's game as this 2016 season gets underway? It's a long season. So what is the message from your office and what you'd like to say?
Well, the fans are smart. You know, they've had baseball around for a long time. They know what they're looking at. It's our job to make sure that we have the proper amount of energy on the field, and the fans are going to recognize from the players whether there's progress or not. We're not going to be able to spin it for them like, you know, you're seeing something different than you see. But we're pretty optimistic that we're going to show the fans over the course of this year some talent, you know, to come. You know, some this summer, some right now, and hopefully some for the years to come.
Optimism and excitement, another two words that we're hearing a lot of, and that certainly is good, Tom, as we send it back to you. Andy, thanks for your time. We appreciate it. Guys, we'll send it back to you in the booth.
All right, Murph, thank you, and our thanks to Andy McPhail for joining us and chatting a little bit about the start of the spring training schedule. The other day, Jim Salisbury from CSNPhilly.com had an article talking about, you know, the teams around Major League Baseball that are going through rebuilding. And one of the quotes that I really liked that Andy McPhail had in that story, he said, "We have zero interest in conceding anything when 7:05 rolls around on each day." I thought that was a great quote. Pitch is a little low to Ruiz because there's a lot of teams that are quote unquote rebuilding. Phillies are one of those teams that are rebuilding.
You play baseball because it's fun. At some point, it's something the only thing you ever want to do as a child is play in the big leagues. And secondly, you play to win. That's why you put the uniform on. It just makes everybody feel better.
Well, Tony Clark, who's the president of the Players Association, has been going around to camps the last couple of days. He was here in Clearwater yesterday, and he was asked about, you know, the rebuilding. Some people say the tanking of certain teams. I think if you look at specific teams like the Braves, like the Phillies, there's a plan in place to try to make the organization even better and to capitalize on the youth and capitalize on the growth of some of these younger players.
Yeah, and I think I'd rather see re-strengthening the program.
Correct.
You know, they're not getting rid of contracts and not making your team stronger in the minor league system or in the big league system. And there is a lot of talent here. And I love the fact that Andy McPhail says, don't read into this spring training too early. You know, everyone talked about, you know, how was camp going so far before the game started. It was tremendous, but it's BP. You know, you're facing your own pitching until you get onto that field and start facing guys in 2 or 3 weeks when guys are throwing 5 or 6 innings. That's when you can sit back and really determine what type of players they're going to be.
Well, the other part too is, you know, Andy knows this from being around. You know, fans know.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're educated when it comes to what's happening. I mean, they know it was a 99-loss season a year ago.
And fans, you're right. And fans are excited. The whole off season, you know, go to Wawa, get a cup of coffee. People, hey Ben, you know that I really like the plan they have in place. You know, I like this young kid coming up. I like Crawford. I like Quinn. You know, Knapp's really swinging the bat. These fans are knowledgeable, and they see what could possibly be down the road, and they're excited about it as well. They should be.
Yeah, I think that's the hope, like what you can see down the road. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Carlos Ruiz with a runner at first base. 1 run in on the towering home run by J.P. Arancibia. Cesar Hernandez did swipe a bag the last time he was on base. Carlos drove in the first 2 runs for the Phils. And that one is fouled off to the right. Here is Carlos's at bat. His first time up.
Very nice separation from the hands, the leg going down, getting back in time and staying on that pitch low and away. Kind of interesting. I thought, Ben, and maybe you agree or disagree, but I thought Cesar Hernandez would have tried to steal second base about 5 pitches ago. 2-0 walk. You want to get in scoring position.
He did it back in the second.
That one's out toward right center field. On the run is Carrera, and he's able to track it down in the alleyway. And the side is retired. But J.P. Arancibia's first spring training home run has brought the Phils a run closer. No need for any wind on that one. It was out off the bats.
Right now, any class.
McDonald's opening night T-shirt for fans 15 and older will be given out on Tuesday, April 12th when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. It's a Hatfield Dollar Dog Night as well. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Top of the fifth inning, 4-3. Blue Jays on top. Back to the bullpen for the Phillies. That is right-hander Edubre Ramos, who last year had 8 saves in Clearwater and then was eventually moved up to Double-A Reading. Minor league numbers, 19 saves during his career, an ERA of 3.12. He was originally signed by the St. Louis Cardinals when he was 17 years old and played for the Cardinals organization in Venezuela for a year.
Nice jump.
So Herrera is able to gauge that one coming right at him. Just one away. Siciliani is retired.
It's a good spring training out for your hitter. You hit a missile and you didn't have to run.
I'm not sure if he's going to take solace in that, though, Ben.
I like the fact that Odubel recognized that he had to come in right away. If he would have froze or took a step back, he would never have caught it. But the instinct of going to get the ball is the reason why he made a nice play.
Colabello takes a strike. It's 0-1.
Because that is the toughest play for an outfielder, is a line drive hit right at you. A lot of times guys will take the step back because they don't want to get beat over their shoulders or behind them. That little hesitation doesn't allow you to catch the ball.
Yeah,
nice job there.
The other part of it, too, is just being able to see it right off the bat immediately. Inside it low. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramos, you see his size. He's a pretty big guy. When he was with the Cardinals at 17, he topped out at 87 miles an hour. The Cardinals left their facility, and that basically left Ramos without a team for 2 years. Age 18 and 19, he did not play pro ball before the Phillies finally signed him. And now he's topping out in the mid-90s. That one's on the outside corner at 94 miles an hour. Colabello has singled and scored. He's grounded out to third, 1 for 2. Down the right field line, that'll slice out of play.
I believe this offseason that Colabelli, Pompey, and Parr came to my hometown for their caravan tour.
They went to New Brunswick?
They came to Fredericton, New Brunswick.
Oh. Did you go to the dinner?
Oh, no. No chance.
Did you show them around?
Nope.
Yeah. Inside, ball 4. Colabello draws a 1-out walk. Tonight, Rod Burke and Zach Berman discuss observations from the NFL Combine and today's 4 p.m. franchise tag deadline with NBCSN draft expert Josh Norris. Watch Quick Slants presented by Nissan tonight at 6 right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Justin Smoak walked his last time up, lined out to right his first time. One ball, no strikes to Smoak. That is Dwight Smith, who is the new base runner for the Blue Jays. We're getting to that time, boys. Substitutions will abound. Off the end of the bat, foul. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ramos is one of those newcomers in the Phillies camp that Andy was talking to Murph about. 48. That's a lot of change.
It's amazing. And that's why Pete made it mandatory in spring training that you had to wear your jersey. You couldn't wear the pullover or sweatshirt.
Yes,
they wanted to put the name with the face.
Yep. I mean, it's when he first said it, I know I laughed, but it was true.
It made sense.
But the day that Andy addressed the team, we were there. Matt Klentak, the Phillies GM, was there. And Matt said to them, listen, there's a reason all of you are here. Fly ball to center field. Double, shading his eyes from the sun. That's not going to be an easy play. It's over his head and over the wall on 1 hop. It'll be a ground rule double. And that'll put runners on second and third with 1 man down.
Not a ton of wind out there, but that ball just had some good backspin and some really good carry to it. That, along with the sun, ball went 400.5 feet.
It was that half foot that really cost him.
That's it.
Pinch runner at second base is Richard Arena for the Blue Jays, so he'll take over for Smoak. Here's Matt Dominguez, who has a base hit today, hit by a pitch. Let's see if Ramos can roll a pair here.
Matt, does this put an end to your scorecard officially today?
Yes.
Check swing. Did he go? Yes, he did. It's 0-2. It would have to be an unorthodox rolling the pair here.
Second, third. You meant a pair of strikeouts.
Yeah, that's what I meant. 0-2 pitch. He went around.
Here's your first one.
Oh, that's a nasty pitch. Right there.
And nice job by Chooch keeping that ball in front.
Well, Darwin Barney's had himself a fine day. He has 4 RBIs, and he's 2 for 2 with 2 doubles.
Walk him. Slider away. Nice job. Punching out the right field for 2 RBI double. And then the third inning comes up. Another nice swing. Crushes one to left center. Nice play right here by Herrera, backing the play up. 2 more runs scored. 2 for 2 with 4 stakes.
Yeah, let's see if he can get him out here as he takes inside. It's 1-0.
That's a good spring training number. When you look at the scoreboard, you're batting 1,000, 4 RBIs.
What my spring training average used to look like, minus the 1.
4 RBIs by getting hit with the bases loaded 4 times.
And hence the reason your number went from a lower number to a higher number.
That's right.
1 ball and 1 strike. Swing and a miss.
Keep throwing it till they hit it.
Yeah, Ramos has a chance to keep on progressing through the Phillies system this year. Will he start at AA? I mean, that remains to be seen. Could he start at AAA? Depends on how he throws this spring.
I don't know, but AA and AAA teams are going to be stacked. A lot of talent down there, that's for sure.
A lot of pitching.
Oh, amazing.
What's good about it is these younger guys, I think they understand the opportunity that's ahead of them. If they go out and do what they're capable of doing, they see that opportunity and know that, hey, this might be a chance for me to stay in the big leagues for a long time and for a great ball club.
2 balls, 2 strikes. That one's off the glove of Ruiz. It doesn't pop too far. I don't think he even realized that it was out of his glove for a second.
I believe he got crossed up.
He was crossed up on that? This should tell us. I believe he was crossed up. Looked like he wanted it down and away, right?
Yeah, I just think I don't know, wouldn't say he was crossed up on the pitch. I think he was just expecting it to break more. And he just kind of boxed it.
Drive, base hit it to right field. 1 run is in. Rounding third, heading for home is Urena. The throw to the plate. He is out. Well, you get a chance to see the arm of Aaron Altair. The Blue Jays do tack on another run. 5 RBIs for Darwin Barney. But Aaron Altair makes sure it wasn't 6 RBIs. A pretty clean throw and a pretty clean tag as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Dear fellow.
You have come to expect and more. New low price for 2016. Watch every out-of-market game of all 30 teams live in true HD on over 400 supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. Well, beautiful day here in Clearwater. And we have changes abounding for the Toronto Blue Jays. We will get to those in just a moment. As Freddie Galvis leads things off, the first change is the guy on the mounds. Steve Delabar is the new pitcher. Delabar takes over for Drew Hutchison, who goes 2 innings and allows 1 run on the home run by J.P. Arancibia. So the first 2 pitchers for the Blue Jays have gone 2 innings apiece. Marcus Stroman went the first 2, allowed 2 earned runs. Galvis grounded out to second base his first time up, so he's 0 for 1. It'll be Galvis, Peter Borges, and Odubel Herrera here in the bottom of the 5th. At the knees, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Conversation about Freddie this year is more about his defense than his offense. And it's a conversation that he initiated. He made 17 errors last year at shortstop, and he said that's too many, first of all. And he thinks, and Pete McCannon agreed with this, it was more about focus. Because a lot of those errors were on the quote-unquote easier plays.
Yes. Ground balls right at short being thrown away. I was actually in the video room the day he came in and I've never seen a position player come and say, hey, can I get my errors from last year? But he broke down and he knew a majority of the throws was from concentration or being lazy at shortstop and assuming you're going to make a good throw.
Over to the right side, Casey Kochman flips underhand, so 1 away. I think the other part of it too is that he understands that J.P. Crawford, who's the Phillies' top prospect, it's not that he's on his heels, but he's pretty close. And I think the anticipation is that he will eventually get a chance to be the Phillies' everyday shortstop.
Well, I mean, especially when you read in the paper that this Crawford kid's a very good player, defensively, offensively, runs the bases well. You need time to go out there and play better defense and go out and play your game and relax. Right. But I think a lot of times the young players, they put so much pressure on themselves.
Here's Peter Borges, and Borges loops one out to shallow right field. Adams, the new second baseman, can't get to it, and Borges is on his way to second base, and he is out. Ezekiel Carrera, who just moved back to right field, throws a strike. So it'll be a single, and the putout goes 9-6. Pretty good throw from Ezekiel Carrera.
It had to be. The way Borges can run.
Very smart by Cabrera to use his bare hand on that as opposed to picking it up with his glove, which would have taken more time. Stabs it with his, got it in between his legs. Yeah. And fired to strike the second.
Odubel Herrera is 0 for 2, 1 ball, no strikes. Grounded out to first base. He's also flied out to left.
Getting back to Freddie, though, I think a lot of times guys that are blessed with a good arm, they take that for granted sometimes, and they rely on that arm too much. And infielders, especially a shortstop, they need the proper, just like anything else, you need a good base, you need a good, strong foundation to make that throw to first base. Sometimes I think he got sloppy with his legs and air-mailed some balls.
2 strikes now on Herrera. Substitutions for the Blue Jays. Burns at third, Meyer at short, Adams at second, and Kochman is the new first baseman. The new catcher is A.J. Jimenez. And with Delabar out on the mound, his outfield is different in left and center. Carrera has moved back and forth between center and right field for most of the day, but it's Alford in left, Fields in center. Out of play again. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Odubel Herrera. from Boyce is the left-hander warming up in the pen for the Phils. That one is smoked foul. And Ryan Tepera is loosening up in the pen for the Blue Jays.
Odubel is leading the Grapefruit League in bat flips already this early spring.
Does not have a hit yet, though.
A good one on that foul ball there.
And strike 3 call. So Odubel's down looking. Side is retired. No runs, 1 hit, nobody left for the Phillies. We've completed 5. On to the 6th, and a new pitcher coming in for the Phils.
Actually, we trained in Plant City, Florida, and I remember, you know, that many years ago, facilities weren't the greatest. It was kind of a bad situation all around. In fact, every day when you took a shower after the workout, you were up to your shins in water. There was just a pool of water, and you got your one towel. And I remember specifically one of our center fielders broke his leg on the palm tree in one of the fields that was in center field. That's how different it was then instead of now.
Well, it is different. There's no doubt about it. I would even think it's different from when you guys went to spring training for the first time, just how the facilities have changed. Matt, it's almost as if he was describing Beehive Field up in New Britain, Connecticut, when he was talking about the clubhouse and also the facilities as a whole.
I remember my first spring training in '89 was down in West Palm Beach at Lantana Stadium, Lantana Field, and walking into the clubhouse and seeing everyone standing around, and I look up and there's Jack Clark's my locker partner, smoking a cigarette. He goes, "Hey, what's up, kid?" I'm like, "Oh my God, they can smoke in here? It's unbelievable. This is the big leagues. They can smoke. They're grown-ups." But it was pretty neat.
Did he allow you to share your locker with him?
Yeah, I don't get any choice. I was actually given number 1 in spring training.
Oh, nice.
First big league camp. So
see Ben, huh?
Yeah.
But I went up too, though, Ben. I didn't stay at 1 very long.
Well, here is Laframboise over from the Pirates organization, pitching for the Phils. See the way he comes from 3/4 from the left side. Fastball will top off at 91. Also has a slider, which most lefties who throw like that should have to face those left-handed batters. Facing John Birdie, who's up for the first time. Birdie is batting for Carrera, the right fielder. 2 balls and 1 strike to Birdie. 5-3, Blue Jays on top. A little bit of a change up there. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Ben, I got a question for you.
Yes.
How hard is it coming into camp, catching so many different arms? We've never caught them before. Does it take a while to get used to, guys?
Sometimes some guys, especially some of these pitchers, they have late movement, Some guys say, "Oh, I throw a sinker," and their sinker doesn't do a whole lot. Another guy say, "Well, I have a sinker, and it's a big, heavy sinker."
Quick release from Cesar Hernandez to get rid of that one because Birdie was moving up the line.
But that's why you have to catch all these guys. If there's a guy, if you and I are both catchers and they're throwing bullpens that day, say, "You know what, Matt, I caught this guy 2 days ago. You mind if we switch out? I want to catch. I just want to see what he has." Because if you get into a game situation like this, you want to know, A, his best pitch, what he likes to go to, and how it's coming out of his hand.
Well, the Phillies have a new catcher in there in this inning. It's Gabriel Lino. A.J. Jimenez, the batter, is the new catcher for the Blue Jays. Here's Lino. That's part of the depth the Phillies have at the catcher's position. The organization is very high on him. Swing and a miss. That ball was just darting away from the right-hander.
Don't try and pull him. Roll over to short every time.
Another off-speed pitch. 1 ball and 2 strikes. 79 miles an hour. Other changes for the Phillies. In left field, David Lowe. And in center field, it's Roman Quinn. A speedy outfielder. He could be one of the fastest guys, if not the fastest guy in camp. Popped him up. Ryan Howard over at first base says he has it. And they're 2 away. Well, Murph, it's a beautiful day here in Clearwater, and the Phillies are embracing a little anniversary here in Clearwater, Florida.
You know what, Tom? It's hard to believe, but the relationship between the Phillies and the city of Clearwater goes back 70 years. It is the 70th anniversary this year of spring training for the Phillies here in Clearwater, and it all goes back to the fact that Bill Veeck, the owner of the Cleveland Indians in 1946, he bought the team in 46, decided to move his team to Arizona, and the Phillies were able to slide in and take the spot here in Clearwater. They played their original games there. You saw a photo of Athletic Field, which was a little bit down the road from here. And then, of course, many folks back in Philadelphia remember Jack Russell Stadium. But boy, oh boy, how times have changed. How about this footage? This is drone footage of Bright House Field, of the Carpenter Complex here in Clearwater. It is just an absolutely tremendous facility. Folks from all over minor league baseball talk about it. You can bet one thing, guys, that Pete Buchanan was talking about things that have changed. Well, I'm fairly certain now the water does not come up to their ankles here in the clubhouse at Bright House Field when they are showering. Those drains are working just fine here, just like everything else. Yeah, things are a little bit different than they were in 1947, but the one thing that is not different is the relationship between this organization and this city here in Clearwater and the people who live here. It is terrific. It's been terrific for 70 years. And, yeah, here we go. I'm flying my drone now over the Carpenter Complex. Yeah. And it's spectacular to see. What a great place to come down and watch some of these young players start to develop. And, of course, watch the big leaguers as they get ready for the new season. So it's just been a great relationship. But 70 years old and counting here in 2016.
Wow, Murph, you not only got a drone, you're on Instagram. I mean, you are really keeping up with the Joneses.
Okay, that was not my drone. That was Sean Rainey's drone. I'm fairly certain he's the one that did that footage. But I am on Instagram. Thanks for mentioning it. At your CSN.
Murph says to me today. Murph says to me today, he goes, Tom, if you're not on Instagram, then you're nothing.
No, I didn't say that. That is not what I said.
It was something like that.
No, what'd you say, Murph?
I said it's important. I learned this year. I was part of a class at Drexel University on
you went back to school?
Media. Actually, I was a co-teacher with Dr. Karen Weaver, and the students there are saying you need to be a part of the social media scene, or
it's going to pass you by. It's going to pass you by.
You're going to get left behind. I was just trying to help us out. That's all. I'll do it for all of us. Don't worry.
Yeah, thankfully.
Thank you.
I mean, Ben just figured out his Surface Pro 3 computer this offseason.
It's new.
Yeah.
It's not so new anymore. They've got the 4 now.
Oh, boy.
You like my drone, though?
I love the drone.
Thank you.
Got a GoPro last summer. You got a drone this offseason. Ryan Howard makes the catch. Side is retired. Another glimpse of Murph's drone over the top of the Carpenter Complex and Bright House Field. You can hire him. Just follow him on Instagram.
the show.
Phillies baseball is brought to you by Toyota. Toyota's hybrid fleet. Temperatures today are in the mid-70s here at Bright House Field. Blue Jays will make another change. Ryan Tepera will be the new pitcher for them. So he is on to take over for Steve Delabar. Delabar pitched a scoreless inning, allowed one hit. That was it. So Ryan Tepera, who last year 0-2 with an ERA of 3.27, will face Franco, Howard, and Altair. As we start the bottom of the 6th inning. By the way, boys, we've gotten Murph 24 new followers on Instagram just by that little segment there. Let's up that level a little bit more.
Am I on what?
Are you on Etsy? I don't know. I'm being fed that information, Murph. I don't know what it is.
What, Snapchat? Isn't there a Snapchat? Or
there is a Snapchat. Yep.
The new wave, gentlemen.
What about Periscope? Are you going to?
Yeah, what's that? I heard about that one too.
Someone on Twitter asked me to join Periscope today, and I said baby steps. I mean, my head's liable to explode if I do anything else.
Amen to that.
We're down in the office today, and Scott Fransky walked by and goes, "Wow, your computer still looks really new." I said, "Yeah, it didn't get a whole lot of use this offseason."
Oh man. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Franco. We'll get it right. Franco is 0 for 2. He's flied to right. He's grounded to shortstop. Shallow left field. Off the heel of the glove, and Franco is going to pull into second base. John Birdie was battling the sun out there. I was giving him the benefit of the doubt that he was battling the sun out there.
Well, he was battling the glare, and he was battling the high sky. You can see right here, he starts tippy-toeing. He's in a little trouble right now. 2 hands, son. Right there. He's like, okay, now I say I got it. That's a play there. If it happens 100 times, you might make that one error.
Yeah, we saw it the other day. Roman Quinn made an error in the game against Tampa. It was kind of a similar play out in center field. Taylor Featherston is the new runner for the Phils. He takes over for Franco. Ryan Howard is 0 for 2, and he takes inside him low. 1 ball, no strikes.
Must feel like crawling into a hole.
Oh, it's brutal.
There's no place you could hide out there.
And the fans don't let you forget it either. Left field, right field.
Murph standing out there. He's giving him an earful about it. Franco's day is done. Those are expecting a big year from him. Howard grounds it to the right side into the shift. Over to third base goes Featherton. 4-3 on the putout. And the Phillies have a runner at third with one man down. Aaron Altair will get his third at bat of the day. Altair is 0 for 2. He's grounded out. He's also struck out. Arancibia waits on deck. Breaking ball down and away. 1 ball, no strikes. Good pitch to hit there.
I was kind of watching the swing. I didn't see where the pitch was located.
So we get a miss. 2-2. Tepera last year had 3 different stints up with the Blue Jays. Pitched in 32 games with Toronto. Most of his work, though, was down at AAA. He had a 1.06 ERA in AAA. That's pretty darn good.
I don't care where you play. That's pretty much unhittable.
Blue Jays AAA affiliate, the Buffalo Bisons. Actually got a chance to get into a postseason game against the defending world champion Kansas City Royals. As you see Jenkins warming up in the pen for the Blue Jays. Three balls, 2 strikes. And low ball 4, so Altair is aboard. The Phillies after tying runs on base with J.P. Arancibia coming up. Well, Arancibia's last time up, pretty good swing. First home run of the year.
Very good swing, and he went to the big boy part of the yard, dead central. Good short swing there. I like his leg kick. When he takes that leg kick, he doesn't chase that stride. So I always try and, if I'm working with younger hitters, you take that stride, you cannot have your head or your hands chase the stride.
Now his main position is catcher, but he can play a little first base as well, right?
It's athletic. That's right, Matt.
Why? Because he's a catcher?
That's right.
I'll agree.
In this case, you'll agree.
In this case, because Ben's bigger than I am.
Did you ever try to play any other position besides catcher?
No.
They never moved you. I know they moved you to the pitcher.
I played a couple games in the big leagues at first base.
How'd that work out?
It was okay. Of course, they were starts when I was with San Diego, and I gave Brian Klesko a day off so I could face Randy Johnson.
That was awful nice.
Boats, appreciate that, Boats. I had fun out there, though. It was enjoyable.
Were you a talkative first baseman?
No. I'd say hello, but it wasn't very loquacious.
Very nice word. 1 ball, 1 strike to Arancibia. Good lead for Altair. Shallow left field. Benty this time is able to make the catch and draws the throw. And there are 2 outs.
Well, he just missed that one. Still a good swing. Still a good swing. And another thing I try and stress to younger players, just because you make an out doesn't mean the swing. You could see he's upset with himself that he missed that one, but it was a good swing. Just because you pop up or make an out doesn't mean the swing itself was bad. Maybe he just caught the bottom of the baseball or caught the top of it, but the swing itself sometimes is still good.
That'll bring Cesar Hernandez to the plate with runners on first and third. There goes Altair, and the ball is whacked foul.
You know, it's funny you say that, Ben, because I did a lot of hitting clinics this year up in Canada, and we talked about it's not the result that's the most important thing. It's the approach, the point of contact, and how the swing is. And it's a great point on your part of saying sometimes you might just clip the bottom of it, sometimes you might hit the top of the baseball. It's all about, especially getting the young kids in the repetition of taking a good swing over and over, and the results afterwards will take care of itself.
Broke his bat, one hopper. Kochman has it. He smothers it. Side is retired. The Phils do threaten. They get a couple of base runners, including one over at third, but they leave 2 onto the 7th inning. 5-3 Toronto. Time now for our game summary for this afternoon's ball game between the Phils and the Toronto Blue Jays. Well, the story's been Darwin Barney, who has all 5 RBIs for Toronto. Marcus Stroman allowed 2 runs in 2 innings for the Blue Jays. Severino Gonzalez the same for the Phillies. JP Arancibia had a decent day, 2 hits, 2 runs scored, including a home run. So now we go to the top of the 7th inning. The Phils back to their bullpen. They will go to right-hander Hector Neris, who was with the big club last year. So Hector will take over. Last year 2-2, an ERA of 3.79. It's an ERA that sort of went up as the last month of the season went on, whether he was tired or what. But he showed some pretty good stuff during his second stint back up with the Phillies.
He did, and if he can improve on throwing strikes on a consistent basis, he's got one of the best split-finger fastballs I've seen in a long time. But for him, he needs to throw first pitch strikes. He has to.
And that's probably the case of a lot of guys, but for him, it is one of those necessities. Roman Fields will lead things off for the Blue Jays. Fields in his first at bat, hitting in what is the number 2 spot in the order. And the first pitch is over at the knees. No balls and 1 strike. Ground ball to second base. Sweeney in for the first time, makes the play. And 1 out. Sweeney made that play. He threw over to Darren Ruff, who's over at first base now for Ryan Howard. Saw Featherston come on to pinch run in the bottom of the 6th inning, so he stays in the game to play third. Cedric Hunter is in right field. And Dwight Smith, who was a pinch runner in the 5th inning, will be up for the first time. A little low. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, he worked ahead of the first batter. It certainly helped. This one, though, he's fallen behind 3 balls and no strikes. After Smith, it'll be Casey Kochman, who is the on-deck batter. There he is. Swing and a miss. And there are 2 outs.
That's a nice job of battling back. You get down 3-0 in the count and you battle back for a punch out. Very nice job by Hector Neris.
Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph.
All right, thanks, guys. Well, speaking of nice job, JP Arancibia is going to join us. Had a nice job out there today. You get 2 hits in your first spring training game with the Phils. How'd you feel out there?
Great. I've coming off of the heels of a good year last year, and just trying to keep it going and just be consistent up there and have good at bats. And it's first game, so it's early, but it was nice to have some success.
Our team president Andy McPhail spoke earlier in our broadcast about how many new faces are here and how many guys are out here trying to win a job. You're certainly one of those guys. Just take us through what it's been like the first 2 weeks here in Clearwater, getting to meet some of your new teammates and kind of fitting into the organization.
It's been great, and thankfully, I've been around for quite some time and have played a lot of these guys, and it's crazy to see all the young guys, and it kind of change, and see those young guys coming through. And I'm just turned of the young age of 30, but I think there's a lot left in my career, and again, coming off of one of my better seasons last year, I'm excited. I think Philadelphia is a good place to hit, and I think I can help the team behind the plate a lot, and obviously, I think I can contribute offensively as well.
You're obviously one of those guys that has a lot of major league experience under his belt. What are you able to bring from that side of things? Not only obviously working on your own game, but with some of these young guys that are probably turning to you for some advice.
No doubt. When I came up, I had a lot of guys that supported me and helped me out, and I'm just trying to give as much knowledge as I can. That's the biggest thing is to pay it forward. I think you treat people how you want to be treated, and when I was a young kid, some guys, treated me great. Some guys didn't. But I always remember the guys I did. And for me, it's trying to get those guys to be better and understand that, this game is going to continue to switch, and younger guys are going to be coming through. And, and what you leave behind is a big thing, and so I just try to help out as much as possible.
I know it's only game one, but hey, it's got to feel good to get 2 hits in your first 2 at bats, right?
Yeah,
including a home run.
Yeah, I had a good first game in the big leagues, and then you set the bar too high sometimes, and then you never know. So I'm just trying to go out there, have fun, enjoy it, the good and the bad, and again, just try to help guys around me and make the team better.
All right, thanks for your time. We appreciate it, guys. Back upstairs.
All right, Murph. As this ball is hit over the Blue Jays dugout and out of play, it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Casey Kochman with 2 men down here in the top of the 7th inning. Kind of interesting listening to JP talk about, certain guys helped, certain guys hindered as you go through your career as a professional ball player. It also sounds like, because of that, I think he wants to be more of the helping variety than the hindering variety.
And you always remember the guys that really helped you along. Andy Ashby was for me, Trevor Hoffman. These guys, Ken Caminiti, guys that really took you under their belt and showed you the ways.
Well, Hector Neris showing us the way with back-to-back strikeouts to wrap up this 7th inning. That splitter was working pretty good against these last 2 hitters. It's time to stretch here at Bright House Field.
First day, kid. Sure.
Score 5-3, Phillies trailing the Blue Jays. Up north a ways. Hi, I'm Michael Barkan. Tonight at 5 on Philly Sports Talk, we'll have all the latest on Sam Bradford as the NFL franchise tag deadline approaches at 4 o'clock. Plus the Flyers hitting their stride at the perfect time. And our voice your choice, is Villanova a lock for a #1 seed in the big dance? All coming up at 5 on Philly Sports Talk. But for now, let's send it back to Bright House Field. What a day for Tom, Matt, and Ben.
All right, Michael, we appreciate that, and it has been a beautiful day. Phillies trail it, though, 5-3. Darwin Barney has all 5 RBIs for the Toronto Blue Jays. Chad Jenkins is the new pitcher for the Blue Jays as he takes over here in the bottom of the 7th. Numbers last year in the big leagues, a 4.91 earned run average. And he will face Gabriel Lino, making his first appearance of the day at the plate. It'll be Lino, Freddie Galvis, and then the top of the Phillies order. At the bottom of the 7th. Lino's numbers last year at Lehigh Valley, 17 runs batted in. First pitch is on the inside corner, no balls and 1 strike. Jenkins last year 41 games in AAA, 11 starts, an ERA of 2.98. His numbers at the big club included just 2 games. DL back back in 2004. There's Garcia because of a fracture to his finger. That was, or 2014, I should say. That was the year where he had a chance to stay up with the big club. And one was grounded right back to the box.
Look what I found.
1-3 on the put out, and one away here in the second. And Freddie Gallo's coming up.
Stay hard up the middle. Hit it hard up the middle. After that, it's out of your hands.
Freddie is 0 for 2. He's grounded out twice. Once to second, once to first. On the outside corner, 0-1.
It's funny watching Freddie take batting practice this spring training, and every time he hits a fly ball, he gets angry. He makes the adjustment very quickly and gets back on the ground or hitting line drives.
Matt, how is his right-handed swing been? Last year we talked about how far his foot was open.
He's made adjustments.
Has it?
Yep, he's quieted down quite a bit.
You said you liked what you've seen out of him thus far,
yeah, I have.
Especially from the offensive side.
He waves at that 0-2 pitch.
I did.
And there are 2 outs. Put goes 2-3. Kids opening night will be Saturday, April 16th, when the Phillies take on the Washington Nationals. A kids pullover jacket, free to fans 14 and under. Brought to you by Turkey Hill. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. Well, that's a giveaway we haven't seen.
Like it.
Yeah. Fanatic will be here all spring long. Here's David Lowe. The Fanatic walking on the Phillies dugout.
Every time.
Outside, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
The Fanatic needs no spring training.
He needs a vacation after spring training, though. 2 balls, no strikes. Yeah, that one's in there at the knees. Uh-oh, false start. Off the end of the bat, and that is a foul ball. Just foul. Lowe's another guy that can run, so if that had gotten past the third base bag, he would have cruised into second. Two balls, 2 strikes. There's ball 4, so Lowe works out a walk. And will give us a chance to see Roman Quinn for the first time. For these speedy outfield prospects. He and the rest of the guys that were playing for the Reading Fightins last year were having a heck of a year. In fact, he went down with an injury and missed the last half of the season and the postseason. But those are his numbers from Double-A. 306 with 4 home runs, 15 runs batted in. He is healthy and apparently has not lost any of his speed because of that leg injury.
It was a torn quad, I believe, was his injury last year, and You have that asset of speed. You never want to hurt your leg, especially a quad muscle or a hamstring, something along those lines.
Outside, and 1 ball, 1 strike. Well, here are the Baseball America top prospects, and Quinn is one of those guys. Last year's #1 pick, Cornelius Randolph, is on that list. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Goes, and a call, strike 3. Quinn is down looking on strikes. Other side is retired. 2 Ks of the inning, no runs, no hits, 1 man left, and a disgruntled Philly fanatic. On April 2nd, the Phillies will have a Phillies Futures game. Saturday, April 2nd. It's presented by PGW. It's free to all fans 14 and under. The Phillies Future Series Fathead. Get a chance to see the Phillies' top minor league prospects as they go head-to-head with the Phillies. Order your tickets now by going to Phillies.com. Great concept, and you'll see some of those guys here in spring training. But when teams break camp and head north, some of them will go their separate ways, but you'll get a chance to see them one final time. J.P. Crawford's one of those top prospects. He'll take over as we move to the top of the 8th inning. And Luis Garcia is the new pitcher for the Phils. Garcia last year, 3.51 ERA. Can he be the Phillies closer? Well, we'll see. He's probably going to be given an opportunity. He, like Hector Neris, going to throw more strikes.
Does he have the stuff? 100%, absolutely.
Mm-hmm. But getting ahead of hitters,
that's the key.
That's the key.
$1 million question.
He'll face Andy Burns to lead it off. And Burns takes low, 1 ball, no strikes.
Get 3 outs the quickest way you can. Get your team in the clubhouse.
Way outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Luis's fastball last year topped off in the high 90s. Sometimes, though, it took a few more pitches than he would have liked to get those 3 outs. And it's 3 balls and no strikes.
All right, go, baby. Come on, come on.
Well, and it's so important for Garcia to get ahead on the hitters, just like all the pitchers. But his out pitch, once he gets to 2 strikes, is that split finger fastball. He's got a very good split finger fastball now.
He delivers low, so it'll be a leadoff walk for the Blue Jays. The base runner, Andy Burns, is aboard.
Get any indication from Pete about what he'd like to do with Garcia? I'm sure it would. Again, stuff-wise, yeah, he's got the stuff. But I think Pete would love to give him that opportunity.
Well, I think he just wants to see more strikes. I think that's the big thing. On the inside corner, no balls and 1 strike. Phillies, as we mentioned, have guys in camp that have closed before, like Hernandez, like Andrew Bailey, the former Rookie of the Year, Mojica, Frieri. That one whips outside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Russell.
Yeah, the lefty.
He's closed before. Come over from the Cubs.
You know, it's funny watching Garcia catch the ball. He's definitely breaking in a new glove out there on the mound. Like it's not closing as fluidly as it will in June.
Rolling around in there?
Yeah. Over the dugout, out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sometimes those gloves are easier to break in this day and age, but you got to use them in order to break them in.
I had one for 7 years and never got broken in.
I would know within the day of taking a glove, in my case, a mitt out of a wrapper, and knowing whether or not it was going to be a gamer. From the first ball I caught with it.
Wait, there was something to it? Like
there was just a certain feel.
Even if you got the same brand all the time.
Yes, and I liked my gloves firm, very firm. And sometimes you get a glove, just go to the next one.
What'd you do with it?
Oh, they're down the cellar right now.
Up high, ball 3, 3-2.
Maybe the baby will be a catcher. My oldest is a wrong-hander and will be either at first base or the outfield.
Or he can blaze a new path. 3 balls, 2 strikes, runner at first. There he goes. Pitch is tapped over the mound. Charging is Crawford. It just doesn't have a grip on the baseball, so the Blue Jays will have runners on first and second with nobody out.
Left fielder, John Bertie.
Okay.
He had him if he had thrown it, but he must not have had the seams.
I don't think he got a grip on this ball. Nope.
Well, here's John Birdie. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Play a double play depth. It's Sweeney and Crawford, the double play combination. Which was pretty close, but he has not been around the strike zone.
Very good point.
Screen. 2 balls and 1 strike. Well, I mentioned the Phillies will be off to Dunedin tomorrow. David Buchanan will make the start for the club. Back home again here on Thursday.
You say Dunedin? I always said it Dunedin.
Didn't I say it the same way?
No, I say Dunedin.
How did I say it?
Dunedin.
Dunedin.
Well, I think that's the way you say it.
It
You
is.
should say it. I say Dunedin.
Gosh, I never even knew there was more than one way to say it.
I guess that's my Delco coming out of me.
I mean, the last couple of years, I think we've had enough trouble saying Franco or Franco.
Or Galvis or Galvis.
2 balls and 2 strikes. A breaking ball got him looking. 1 away. Well, that's a pretty good pitch.
That's a very good pitch. Good location, hard slider, right on the corner. Right back to Dunedin you go.
Dunedin.
Oh. Here is A.J. Jimenez. Jimenez in his second at bat. He popped out his first time up.
Anyway, getting back to the game, Doug Fischer will be pitching on Thursday for the Houston Astros.
For the Astros. Thank you, Matt, for your scouting report. Ken Giles coming?
That I do not know. TBA.
Back to the screen. 1 ball, 1 strike. Severino Gonzalez started today. He went the first 2 innings for the Phillies, followed by Gregory Infante, who allowed 2 runs in 1 inning of work. David Hernandez pitched a scoreless inning. His was the quickest inning of the day for the Phil's pitchers. That one's looped out towards second, caught by Sweeney, and they double him up. And the side is retired. A couple base runners for the Blue Jays, but Luis Garcia is able to work out of a jam. Let's see if the Phillies bats can come to life when we return. By Darwin Barney, who's no longer in the game for Toronto, as we move to the bottom half of the 8th inning. Time to take a look at our Toyota roster report. Now, it's a crowded dugout right now, so total players in camp 66, the non-roster invitees 26. And the folks from the 2015 final day 40-man roster that are currently on the 40-man, how about just 27? Changes, they are coming.
26 non-roster invitees. I mean, usually you have 10, 12, 26.
Blue Jays have 29 non-roster invitees in camp. They have 69 players total that are in camp. 34 of those players are pitchers, including Scott Copeland, who's on to face Taylor Featherston. Chopper to third. And there's one away. 5-3 on the put out there.
First baseman, Darren Ruff.
That'll bring Darren Ruff to the plate. Dyer Hinojosa is warming up, who was very impressive last year. Guy Phillies got from the Red Sox organization. Over toward third, a foul ball. Darren Ruff up for the first time. Ryan Howard got 3 at bats here this afternoon. A couple of ground outs and a fly out. 2 balls and 1 strike. How's Ruff look so far, Matt, in your eyes?
He's looked good. He's been swinging the bat well. He's playing very good defense at first base. Hasn't been on the outfield yet. Probably because they only have 3 first basemen in camp.
Yeah, even Cody Ashley's played a little first base in camp. Now, Cody's out with a little bit of an oblique injury. He should be okay. That one is rocketed right at the third baseman, Burns. 2 outs. Not much you can do about that one if you're Darren Ruff.
Watch your lips down there in the hot corner. That'll break your glove in.
That's a missile.
It sure is.
Here's Hunter, who fouls the first one down the right field line. Now, as Darren Ruff is retired on that line drive, we turn our attention to Hunter, who, Matt, you know, we've listened to you talk about some of these players. You like what you see from this kid.
I do. He plays a very good outfield. He's a guy that he wants to learn. He asks a lot of questions. He's a free swinger, you know, and he gets up there and he just wants to hit. You know, defensively, he runs the bases very well. In the outfield, he's quick. His arm is probably about average or maybe a little bit below. But when he's going right, when he stays on top of that baseball, and I like to use the phrase smell the baseball, keep your head down over the baseball, he makes solid contact.
That one's pulled foul. Cedric Hunter was formerly of the San Diego Padres organization. The Phillies, though, were able to sign him after he spent a year in AAA with the Atlanta Braves. Hit .283 last year with 12 home runs. Pulls that one towards second base, and it's a 1-2-3 8th inning for Copeland. So the bullpen for the Jays done a nice job over the last several frames. We'll go to the ninth.
Good morning, buddy.
Phillies insider Jim Salisbury on Twitter and on CSNPhilly.com. I think Jimmy has some new glasses. Those we're seeing there in that promo. I don't think he has those anymore. I think he broke them. He still has the same phone case, though.
He asked me today, he said, hey, there's this big cherry tree out at your farm. He goes, do you mind if I get that? I said, Jim, you can take whatever you want.
He's going to go take the cherry?
He said it's hung up on some vines or something. He's trying to, it fell down, but he's trying to get this one cherry tree. I don't know. I said, Jim, have at it.
Is that what he does on the side?
Yeah, he likes to run his dog up there. And,
nice.
So he enjoys it.
You know, if I knew that he was, we could hire him to take trees down.
He
I
said he doesn't
utilized
have
him.
that equipment, though, to go out and take it down the way he'd like to.
An arborist and a Phillies insider. David Adams will lead it off against Dyer Hinojosa. And a fastball that ran in there at 92 miles an hour. It's no balls and one strike. Hinojosa last year a 0.73 ERA. He came out firing from the get-go. Adams walked in his only at-bat. 1 ball, 1 strike.
Well, Hinojosa threw very well last year for the Phillies. And the question mark when we got him from the Red Sox was he doesn't throw enough strikes. That's all he did was pound the strike zone when we brought him over
Very
here.
true, yep.
Hey, David, home, baby.
He just threw it up there and said, here, see what you can do with it. Topped off at 95, 96 miles an
probably.
hour.
But the nice thing about what Hinojosa brings to the table, and I'd be surprised if you do not see it right now, is that devastating split finger. That's the equalizer.
One ball, 2 strikes. Well, there you go. One man down here in the 9th inning.
Location away, just darts down and tremendous movement.
And late.
Yeah.
Here is Anthony Alford. He's up for the first time. At the knees, no balls and 1 strike. Ball and 1 strike. He spent most of last season in the Florida State League.
Playing for?
Dunedin.
Went
down to 1 knee on that one. And it's 2 balls and 1 strike. Also looked like he did something after he threw that pitch.
Wiped out. Lost his balance in the front foot.
I'll take a look.
Ready?
Oh, yeah. Pete Buchanan's going to try it out to make sure he's okay. It looked like he was limping a little bit when he came out of it. It's Chris Mudd, part of the Phillies athletic training staff. All right, so he looks like he's all right. We mentioned tomorrow the Phillies will take on these Blue Jays again in Dunedin. David Buchanan will start for the Phils, scheduled to go a couple innings. Velasquez, who they acquired from the Astros.
Jays moved to a different city?
What did I say this time?
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Velasquez, who the Phillies got from the Astros in the Ken Giles trade, is scheduled to pitch. So is Brett Oberholzer. That one's in the dirt. When the Phillies face the Astros on Thursday here in Clearwater, Jake Thompson is scheduled to start. Phillies got him last year in the Cole Hamels deal. Zach Eflin is also scheduled to pitch. And there is strikeout number 2 for Hinojosa.
Center fielder, Roman Fields.
Look at that movement. It's a 93-mile-an-hour sinker.
Yeah.
Late movement. Split finger comes in at 90 with late movement.
Now, as a hitter in that situation, it's the 8th inning, guy doesn't want to walk you. You know he's going to pretty much 95% come with the heat there. And he's still able to throw it by him because of that movement. It's good to see.
Hinojosa has a good spring training. You might be able to throw him in there as well with
You could.
As a closer.
Yeah,
mix.
you could.
Take Garcia out of a spot where he pitched extremely well last year in the 8-hole.
That one is poked down the left field line. It's a fair ball, and Fields, well, he can run. He's already around second, heading to third, and
Put your hands up. Just put your hands up.
Going to get there because they can't find the baseball. You know, we watched today during some of the infield outfield drills. It was even low, where the ball got kind of stuck underneath the fence out there. So they're going to put him back on second base.
Now, the ruling on this play right here is that if he continues to look underneath it and tries to reach for the baseball under the fence and cannot find it, the ball's in play.
That is correct.
So the key is right here. As soon as the ball goes underneath right there,
oh yeah, it's gone.
That's where you put your hands up and say, I cannot see it, I cannot find it, like you did just there.
It's like the Ivy rule in Wrigley.
Yep. He gone. All right, so they put him back at second base. Roman Fields, that is.
So if that ever happens again, which probably will never ever happen again.
Maybe in Wrigley Field.
Hands up.
Hands up. Hinojosa comes right back and fires a fastball for strike one. It's 0-1. Now, here is one of the dilemmas of spring training, ladies and gentlemen. We have big old number 71 up at the plate, and we don't know who he is because he's not on the roster.
I got Ballum right here. Hold on,
So, we will get that updated soon. But number 71.
Scoreboard doesn't know him either.
No, he does not. There's nothing up on the scoreboard. Inside. Hopefully he works a few pitches here so then we can get an idea of who he is. See, you look at the scoreboard, there's no number. That's where the number would be.
Well done, Matthew.
Old number 71. One ball and 2 strikes. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Just scanning the roster that they have online, that the Blue Jays have online, their spring training roster. There is no 71 on that either.
We have a name.
Rowdy Tellez.
You didn't know that?
I didn't know that. And a strike 3 calls. All right, so Rowdy Tellez, thank you for coming. You are down on strikes, and that ends the top of the 9th inning. Pretty good pitch here by Hinojosa. We'll go to the bottom of the 9th. The Phils down by 2. Last chance. training broadcasts on the Comcast Sportsnet family, TCN, NBC 10, 181 total broadcasts this season. Phillies pre- and post-game live before and after every single game as we get set to celebrate not only the 70th year of baseball here in Clearwater, but our 19th season of Phillies baseball on Comcast Sportsnet. Nice to have it started here this afternoon. We have plenty of folks in the house, including the littlest fireman you can ever find. Phillies bullpen has done its job here this afternoon. In fact, Hector Neris got things rolling. Pretty good fastball here today, right?
Yeah, he's had a very good fastball, very good split finger right there. Garcia coming in, locking it in when he needed to, getting a nice strikeout there with a nasty slider, another changeup. Hinojosa coming in and throwing gas, just like he did last year, picking up, throwing strike after strike. He's throwing that nasty split finger fastball to, who's the last guy again?
Rowdy Tellez.
Rowdy, sorry.
Matt, for the rest of spring training, number 71 is going to come up, and you're going to know the answer to who he is. Rowdy Tellez. So here's Wade LeBlanc, who has pitched his share of games in the big leagues. 107 games in his big league career. Saw him quite often with the San Diego Padres.
2010.
Was he a teammate of yours?
Yes, sir.
You and Cedric Hunter?
Cedric was in spring training.
Oh, okay. Cameron Rupp will lead things off. Rupper up for the first time here today.
Wade definitely not a ninth inning guy. You wouldn't think a guy that throws 90, 91.
Swing and a miss. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cameron Rupp.
Big swings here by Rupper. Said if I have to wait till the 9th inning to get in that bat, I'm going to let her eat.
Swing and a miss. Threw him an off-speed pitch and 1 away here in the 9th inning. So 1 gone. Sweeney will bat for the first time.
Tom, if you would allow me a quick second to wish a very happy 68th birthday to one William Michael Davis, my father. Thinking of you, Dad. I love you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, happy birthday. Now, do folks call him Bill?
Yes.
William Michael?
Yes. Big Willie.
Big Willie?
Sometimes.
Darnell Sweetie, the batter. Outside. And it's 2 balls and no strikes. What'd you get him for his birthday?
Birthday wish.
Meg, what did we get him?
That's a surprise.
Oh, is it?
I don't want to let it out on the air, Tom.
2 balls and no strikes to Sweetie. Darnell takes on the outside corner. That is a tough strike. It's 2-1. Darnell's come into camp a little more muscle on him than last year. Versatile player, can play the infield and the outfield. Way upstairs. 3 balls, 1 strike to Darnell.
Worked out with D. Gordon in the offseason with his infield guy working out second base.
He owed him $5,000, so he had to work out with him.
That's right.
Remember that.
Darnell's first home run came in Florida, and D. Gordon was going to try to hold it hostage for $5,000. That one's down the right field line. Out of play. 3 balls and 2 strikes. There is a versatility to Darnell's game that will continue to help him down the road, whether it be this year or next year or beyond. That one just missed inside. Ball 4. A reminder that opening day is brought to you by Nemours. The Phillies commemorative opening day cap will be given out to all fans. It's Monday, April 11th at 3:05 when the Phillies take on the San Diego Padres. That is the home opener of the 2016 season. Here's Lino, and he pops the first pitch up. He jammed him. Kochman was looking to see if Lino was running or not. But Adams, the second baseman, took charge. 2 away here in the 9th inning.
Shortstop, J.P. Crawford.
That'll bring J.P. Crawford to the plate. J.P., the former top pick by the Phillies. Those were his numbers last year in Reading. Up for the first time with Sweeney at first base, not being held on. He goes, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Oh-2 pitch. Off the end of the bat, floated out toward right field, and that is the ball game. Alford is able to track it down, and the Phils here in the home 9th inning. No runs, no hits, and 1 man left. And the Toronto Blue Jays have won the first game of spring training 2016 by a final score of 5-3. Well, our W.B. Mason deliveries of the game, the reason why the Blue Jays were able to pull out the victory today. Darwin Barney, boys, 5 RBI.
Yeah, all he did was get up there and just hit after hit after hit. 3 for 3 today, driving in all 5 runs. First inning at a double. 3rd inning here against a fastball. Drives it to left field, scoring 2 more. And his last at bat in the 5th inning, it's up, the fastball up and away. Drives it to right field, scores 1, and with a very nice throw out there to home plate to shut down 1, and that's your W.B. Mason deliveries of the game.
That is the way you want to start a spring training if you're Darwin Barney and John Gibbons. His team wins it 5-3. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.